their influencers. It's really tough to put a video together every day for me. But anyway, we're gonna get started. It's 7:04. Hope everybody's had a good week. It's Holy Week. We're excited about that. All right. Well, this is Trading with the Family. My name is Anthony. Tonight, we're April 15th, tax day. We're going to be talking about the death cross, what it is, what happens when you see it in the market, what we can expect. So let's go through some of our charts. And before we do that, we're going to just look at the market and see what's going on with the market. Let me switch screens real quick. And I'm going to go to Trading View. We're going to take a look because it looks like the market's falling right now. Let me see. Let me log out of this screen over here. Here we go. Connect. All right. Let me zoom in. Okay. So I wrote down all the different levels where I thought the market was going. April the 5th, or August the 5th, excuse me, was the first level that I looked at. And I thought they were going to bring us back there. And I saw it on the chart, but I honestly didn't think that they would get us there. But we actually got back to the April the 5th levels from last year, or August the 5th, excuse me, way further down. We hit there, I think it was last week, and now we're even further. Yeah, April, where's August, March? Well, anyway, all the levels that we talked about have been hit to date. They even took us down as far as April, somewhere down here, April the 7th, all the way back, April the 7th. And so of last year, those lows. And so now we're looking to see where else are they going to take us with the market that they tried to pump, that it would not receive the injection. You know how you go to the hospital and you're sick and they put those paddles on you and you're about to, crash out, and boom, they try and revive you. That's what this candle was right here last Wednesday. That was August the 9th. That was Donald Trump saying that he was going to pause the tariffs, and we got this huge candle that ran up and took the market all the way up to 549. Well, the next day, the market's like, yeah, that's cool and all. It's cool to pause the tariffs, but we really like to have some real direction with the tariffs. And the next day, the market sold all the way back down to 509.39. And what's so crazy about that next day, that Thursday, if the market had just fallen 40 more points, they would have had to stop the market and pause the market. We were that close. And that's why they brought it right here. And you can see where they just started wicking it back up. They started pushing it back up, because if it had hit right about here, 502, that 500 area, they would have stopped the market. That's how bad it was bleeding out. It was already bleeding out a couple of days prior on Monday, April the 7th. And that was why they had President Trump come in. And, he said in the post, it's a good day to buy, basically letting everybody know I'm getting ready to pump this market. And then he did. But look at what's happened. The area that he pumped the market to, we've not been able to get above that. We've not been able to get above 548.79 on the SPY. And this is really, really concerning to a lot of people. So what this says is, in order for the market to move, there's got to be some type of artificial inflation or something into the market. The market is not going to move on its own, because I put up here at this level, if we start breaking back out, I put on the chart who's buying this. If we do start pushing up, I mean, that should be a warning, because I think if we can get into this 567 area and try and fill this gap up to 575 or whatever that is, break the 200-day moving average on the SPY at 570. If we can get some positive gamma there, the market would go up. But then you got to think, we got mortgages not being paid, card notes not being paid, credit cards not being paid, people's adjustable rate mortgages are going, all this craziness being pushed into the society all at one time. And this leads into today's teaching. We have a death cross right here on the chart. We have a death cross, the 50 and the 200. The 200 is the blue, the 50 is the red. And look at this, they're about to touch. When this touches, it's a ball game. That's giving Kobe the ball in an open court with the clock running down and nobody in front of him. He can dunk it, he can shoot it, he can throw it off the backboard, but either way it goes, that's like giving Zion the ball in an open court. It's going to be a spectacular dunk, and that's what's about to happen right now. It's about to be a spectacular move to the downside because nobody's going to buy this. Nobody's going to help us get across this 200-day moving average. We are down here, and I moved my line, put it right back there. We are literally pushing down right now. If you look in the post market, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're falling real good. Something must have happened. I have to look it up and see. But we closed at, man, we're down almost 1% in the after. We closed at 537.61, and we're down, where'd they go? We closed, and now we're down $4 in the after hour. Yeah, so something has happened. That's a really good move down. Let me zoom in, see what we can see. And we'll get right into today's class. But one of the things I want you to notice, we're not breaking this level. If we don't break 548.35, stay in puts. If you're in puts, or buy as high as you can. Like if you could have bought that day that they pumped the market and bought the top, be sitting real pretty right now. We gapped up and now we're coming down, and I think we may have filled the gap. I'm going to look in the after. Oh, I think we just filled it in the after hour. I think this red line, yep, we just filled the gap. Let me look on the 5-minute and the post market. Let me go to extended hours. Yep, straight down. Look at that. Yep, we just filled the gap. And look, remember how I told you price action always comes to the flat lines? See that line, how flat it is? Price action is always on cheat code going to come there. And then look, it came and it wicked, came back over, and now it's going down. Market is falling real good. So I don't know if somebody had some really, really bad earnings. The president said something, but at exactly 5:30, we got a double top. For those of you that are not familiar with the double top, it's a bearish setup. We had 538.36, and then we came back over to 538.23. We couldn't get above. Oh, and here's the death cross. Wow. Okay, wait a minute. Is it on a 2-minute? No, that's the price action meter, that red line, and then the sharp sell line. The death cross is going to be on the 200. And let's look at that real quick too. No, we were just looking at it. It didn't go there yet. So let me show you real quick. We are close. So if the market keeps falling the way it's falling now, we could get that cross in the market before morning. It's right here. The red line is the 50-day moving average, and the blue line is the 200-day moving average. Once those cross, and that's what our whole class is going to be about tonight, we're going to get some serious downside. And I think the SPX already crossed. Wow. Can y'all see that? That's called the death cross. This is the SPX. And see, the 50 is pointing down. We had it already on NVIDIA, and look at what happened on NVIDIA. Flushed all the way down. I think someone said that Tesla was setting up in a death cross too. And so right now, everything is about to go on sale. Like if there's something that you wanted to buy, it's probably going to be on sale. Let me take a quick look before we get into the other materials. SPY, SPX, oh, QQQ. We crossed. Wow. It is showtime. Yep, it's showtime, guys. Showtime. We got a death cross on the QQQs. We got a death cross on the SPY. That's getting ready to happen. SPX has already happened. Let me see the ES. Yep, we crossed on the ES. I've never seen this before in my life. And all these indices, we crossed on the NASDAQ. Wow. So now let me go into what that means. And I want to look at Tesla real quick. If I can find Tesla, here we go. Oh my goodness. So you could trade any of these down with confidence. Tesla also, let me zoom in. We got a death cross on Tesla right here at Monday, April the 14th. We got a death cross right here in this area. And price action is going down, whether it wants to or not. Resistance is at 273.34. We will not get above that until these different patterns play out. So let's go into our material and we'll come back later and look at some of these charts. But yeah, it's showtime to the downside. And if you look at Tesla, I already had our final support where I think it's coming, 119.56. But look at cheat code. Cheat code has it falling to 187. Wow, 160, 134, and then the last one, $82. I want to see that. If Tesla falls to $82, I'm loading up. I'm literally loading the truck with everything I got. Let me look at the 9-hour. I don't see. There's going to be a lot of buying, a lot of stress on Tesla if it gets to that level. People are going to literally go crazy buying. Okay, on the weekly, wow, on the weekly, the levels are 250, where we are now, 195, 140, and 29. That's a drop. Let's look at this death cross, and I'll come back to that in just a little bit. But I want to go into the class that I have because I want you to understand when you start hearing on the news everybody talking about a death cross, you'll be like, man, I know what that means. So let's look at this. So chart number 1, what is a death cross? Let's go here. What is a death cross? A death cross is a market chart pattern in which a short-term moving average crosses below a longer-term moving average, indicating price weakness. And that's what I just showed you. The short term is the 50-day moving average, and then the 50-day moving average has fallen below the 200-day moving average, which is your larger moving average. And since I just explained that, and it means basically the market is very weak. Look, this is like COVID and you don't come back from it. This is like very, very serious at this point, because when you see this many death crosses on this many indices, this means we're literally going into like a depression. Whether they want to admit it or not, we're already in a recession, so they can stop playing. When you start seeing these charts lining up like this, and let me see, let me go to the SPX because that one was beautiful. That was a beautiful setup. SPX. And let's zoom in to the daily and show you exactly what they're saying. Your short-term moving average, which is the red, crossing under your larger moving average, which is the 200. And then look, not only is it crossing, but it's pointing down, showing us the direction of travel, showing us what it's getting ready to do. That's what they're saying in that example. A market chart pattern in which short-term moving averages crosses below a longer-term moving average, indicating price weakness. Translation, ain't nobody buying. That's why I put up there on the top on that other one, who's buying this? Nobody. When you see this, basically right now it's the bots, and once the bots finish buying, the market continues down because they have to have some buying just to keep the market stable and keep a pulse on it. But other than that, that's all that's going on. So let's look at this further. And I know we're going to have some questions on this. So let's look at this chart. So this kind of breaks it down a little bit better. On this chart, it shows you the 50-day moving average, which is the red. the 200-day moving average, which is the blue, and it shows them crossing, and see how it's pointing down just like it is now. Look at what happened after that happened. And now these are the trend lines I showed you earlier. This shows it in a channel, a bearish trend to the downside. As soon as you had that depth cross, it was trying to recover. It was trying to get back above the 200-day moving average, but pressure was already pushing down even before the cross. Because if you look here, before the cross even happened, there was pressure. So this would be like somebody just adding weights onto the bar and adding weights onto the bar. And it gets to a point to where you can't sustain that. And then you had that cross. It came down, got the cross, and it pushed down, tried to recover. That's a false breakout. And that's what we're seeing now, these bounces in the market. Because look at where it was. Just as it was getting ready to cross, you got a sell-off. You get the cross, boom. It's down and it shoots up, and it'll trick you. Don't be deceived. Look at this. This thing bounced, and flushed. And that's what we're getting ready to see. It's getting ready to flush. And I think I've been showing you the levels for the last few weeks, but that's exactly what we're getting ready to see, is that type of move. Now, on the other hand, as this plays out, when we get to the end of this depth cross cycle, we're going to get what's called a golden cross. After this is over, you're going to start hearing people talking about a golden cross. When it crosses back under and the 200 starts to push up from the 50, then we're going to get, or 50 moving back over up to the 200, excuse me, we're going to get what's called the golden cross, and price action is going to shoot up and take back off. So be looking for that, because this is going to happen quicker, a lot quicker than the depth cross, because once it gets so low, it's like pulling a rubber band back, and boom, it's going to shoot up. Price action is going to take off. When it goes back up and it crosses to the upside, it's called a golden cross. To the downside, it's called a death cross. Here's another depiction showing the 50 crossing down at the 200, and then you see these tremendous drops. I mean, this is trillions of dollars being lost. And every time you see the drop, look, double bottom, and then look, price action comes back up, double top, sold back off, double bottom, and then look, this was a lower low, a lower high, another double top, and just like we're seeing today, I hope y'all can see this, they could not get back above that weak price action. Almost the wicks look almost identical. Wick on the left, wick on the left, wick on the right, wick on the right, and then look, sold back off and went lower, and it kind of found support here, and then it finally went back up. But this could be weeks, this could be months, this could be years. I'm not sure what chart this is. I do have the next chart. It's from the 2000 crash. Look at this one. This is from the 2000 crash. It was at 100 and crashed all the way down to 60, below 60, like 50. And look at how long the crash took. It started in September, and the crash started, it bottomed out in January. So September, October, November, January, 4 months. 4 months. And we had a double top, and this is the cues. I mean, basically a trend down. And this is what we're looking at now. But that's the cross again that we're seeing pushing to the downside. So we definitely want to be aware that this is happening. And we want to be aware that when this is happening, we can sit in these positions to the downside, because this is getting ready to collapse. Let me see if I can zoom out and show you the levels on the SPX. Anybody have any questions about that? What we just covered, the death cross? Have you heard of a death cross? Anybody familiar with that at all?
I've heard of the death cross, but that was my first time hearing about the golden cross. Is what you
golden
call
cross.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so it'll be falling. You'll start hearing them in the news saying, we're about to get a golden cross off of this depression. And they're going to be, and then boom, you'll see it shoot back up so fast.
Got it. So that's good to know. So then I'll have some type of warning before that golden cross hits.
You definitely right here from me.
Oh, good.
We're watching it every day. every day.
'Cause I want to load up as much as I can, Anthony.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, it's off of those bottoms where the millionaires are made.
Right, right.
Yeah, because think about it. So if let me see if I could change this screen and show you Nvidia. Let me see. And that's the stock that everybody's buying right now is Nvidia and Palantir right now. And Ford are the crowd favorites. People are buying hand over fist. They're getting these stocks. I mean, I don't know. Look at this. Look at Nvidia. 226 million in the volume. Let me see what it did in the after hours. It's whoa. Golly, Nvidia dropped $7 in the after hours.
And so, Anthony, I have a question about that. And
Yes,
maybe
sir.
you can help me understand. So, like, I purchased some Nvidia today before the market closed. But what I'm noticing, and I'm sure you know why, like it'll be at the end of the day. I guess the market closes by 4 o'clock. So I'm here buying Nvidia at 110, 112. And then when the markets close in the after hours, I see there's like a $10 drop or a $5 drop. I've noticed that over the past week or so. What is going on? Why does that happen?
Well, what's going on now? There's a lot of weakness in the market, and Nvidia got a death cross right here too. Is this chart showing on the screen?
Yeah, I see it.
This is Nvidia. This is on the daily chart. Nvidia got a death cross back on March 20th, and I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice it. I honestly didn't even know that it happened. I kept saying, "Man, why is Nvidia going down? Why?" And look, this happened March 20th. We're at April the 15th. It went down from March 20th. Yeah, look, shoot, that's almost a month. So imagine I didn't even see it. I was already in puts and I made money on it. But the thing is, I didn't even realize I would have went bigger if I knew this because we're still, I mean, we're just getting going to the downside. So I think there's going to be more opportunities because of the weakness in the market, what's going on with the tariffs. Really, it's the tariffs that's driving everything right now. President Trump trying to get money out of all of these companies, countries, because they haven't paid and we've paid so much over the years. And his approach, you know, to making everybody pay right now is really hurting the market. And when there's uncertainty and scare and fear in the market goes down. But look at Nvidia; it's been a lower low. We were here at what is this? January, man, we were all the way up at 155, 146, 141. I mean, it would just walk down 125, and then look, death cross. So people kind of knew because they started easing their way out, easing like let me make my way to the door. Look, there's somebody here robbing this store. Let me make my way to the door at the side before they see me. And they just been unloading it. I mean, you can just see, and this is one of those bounces. But guess what? This came down. This was a bounce. Came down. Was a bounce. Next level is down here around 80 something dollars. So if we look, and it's just the tariffs, and it's just the stocks were overpriced, and they're pulling back. Here we go, right here. For Nvidia, I bought at 100. I bought at 90. I'm going to set a buy order for a quarter position, probably 25 shares right here at $80.51. And it probably should be really at, you know what? I forgot to tell y'all. Remember the other week I was talking about the weekly 200 moving average? This is where they're bringing us, and other people now have started pointing this out. So honestly, if you're going to buy Nvidia and buy more, set your next buy order at 70, and then your last buy order should probably be right around 56. And we're gonna bounce pretty hard. We're gonna bounce. I don't think it's gonna. The other levels are there, but we're definitely not going to $1, and we ain't going to $40 on the weekly. I could see us coming down to maybe. Let me see. Are there any gaps over there? So, yeah. So right here we got a small gap. Doji. These go straight down. You know what? Flat line is right here. Yeah. All right. Well, we are in a death cross, and the rest of the market is going to sell off. So, wow. We have to go with what the charts say, even though this is unbelievable. I think you can get NVIDIA at $40 in the coming days. And we're at $112. So, I mean, this could really benefit a lot of people. So you can literally go out on NVIDIA. And from the way that the market is setting up, it's looking like, I mean, we just dropped. Oh my gosh, we're still dropping. We dropped 7. Hold on, let me zoom in because I might need to be trading futures. Not the trading when I get up. What is going on? Okay, market closed at the same time, just like the rest of the market. 5 o'clock.
NVIDIA was that catalyst. That news came out about NVIDIA.
Let me see what they. So you have
sent
here we go. On April 9th, the U.S. government restricted NVIDIA's export of AI H20 chips to China and 5 other countries, requiring a license indefinitely. Wow. Due to the supercomputer concerns. 18 minutes ago, NVIDIA chip restrictions likely part of more comprehensive approach by U.S. market talk. Wow. Yeah, we might be going to $40.
Came out like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, but they're going to figure this out, though. Think about it. If you're the second largest, you were just the largest company in the world. We can't be sidetracked by an article or news. They knew, and I bet you the dark pool traded this all the way down because they were the ones that selling. Boom, they traded it down. Now they're probably going to take it already in a death cross. So if you're going to put something out now negative, this is, let's go and get everything out. Let's go and get these things down so we can get it back up and make the money in the next 2 years under Trump. So I think that's kind of the sentiment. You know, if something negative is going to happen, let's go ahead and get it all out. I was listening to the one guy on, I think it was Bloomberg. He's like, if they're going to do anything negative, let's just do it now and get it out the way, drop everything. He's like, because I want to get back to making money. And I agree. I second that. So I can see now with the way that this is selling off, we might come back and test these lows either this week or next week at 86. We break the low. If you see a break ever, please write this down. If you see a break ever on NVIDIA of right here, this was April 15th, 2024. If we break, let me put a line there. Honestly, you could get in puts and feel very comfortable right now. You don't even have to be an expert at all. This is easy trading. But if we break 75.18, we're coming to 40. Just know with confidence because there's nothing over here to stop the fall. See how the stocks just kind of, it's like you're walking down the stairs in your house. I mean, you just stair step down, and then you get here. There's only a little bit of resistance. And last time we hit that resistance, boom, we shot up. This time we're going to hit that resistance and kind of settle right here. They're taking us back all the way to, my Lord, November the 6th, 2023. That's where we're going. Let me put that on the chart. Man, seems like everything is going back to 2023. 2023, they're taking us back 20. Yep, they're taking the whole uptrend. They taking all that back. They're taking it all back, all of it. So just know until we break 75, that area, I mean, I think we're okay. But if you're gonna buy long term, just be patient. You know, if you got some money, just be patient because this is the level. I won't buy no more until we get here. No more. Because, I mean, that's kind of what I did with Palantir. I just waited and started looking at the chart. And I said, well, where's the bottom? And just put the orders down there. If you want to go halfway in between because you think it might not get there, you can set a limit order at 60. And when it hits it, boom, it'll automatically buy it. But I would say 50 would be a good area to have some money sitting to buy. And, man, years from now, these things right here, if you buy these at 50 and this stock goes back to $1,200, I mean, because think about it. This recession and depression ain't going to last forever. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to buy at this level. It honestly is. Let me see, November 2023. 2023. So that's where they're bringing us to. So let's look at the SPY since we're on this large. Oh man. US futures decline as Nvidia drags. Yep. So the news is popping right up. It's Nvidia. And look at this, y'all. Look at the 200 on the weekly. We're sitting, and I already got it there. I mean, we already talked about it. So look, they talking about it now like it's news. We've been talking about this, and I'm not even an economist. We've been talking about this for 2 weeks now. And then the one guy's like, you got to look at the weekly. We've already talked about this. They said the market is coming to 47. We got it charted right there at 46.58 2 weeks ago. They started talking about it this week as if it was news. This is where we're coming on the SPX. Once we break this 200 daily moving average on the weekly, they're going to bring us right here to 4,000, which takes us back to October 2023. So it's all lining up. Nvidia's coming back to November 2023. The SPX is coming back to October 2023. Let me see the SPY. SPY is coming back. The little brother is coming back to October is there. Brings us back up to 404. If we break this level, which I don't see us breaking 404, I mean, something really, really bad would have to happen. We come to 340. And that's like the last support. The support level on cheat code is actually 366, but there's nothing here. I think if we get to 366 on the SPY, we're definitely coming to October 2022 lows. So they're literally take us back 2 years and some change on these indices. This is crazy. So now this is a once in a lifetime thing. Imagine you buy SQQQ at the levels we're at now, or you buy VXX at the levels we're at now, or you go long on a put where we are now. That could be life-changing. I'm telling you, you don't have to buy a lot to realize the drop. You just have to buy and be in during the drop. And it looks like we may have started now. So Nvidia might literally be the next catalyst that takes us down lower. Because looking at this, look, this is the after hours. We got the pump and dump from Trump. We got the pullback from Trump when we couldn't go back up on the Thursday. We pulled back, and ever since then, we've been trading sideways. Now look, it's getting real heavy, and support is at 530. We're already, are we pushing back up? Oh, no. We're already down 533. We're going to break this support. This is on the 2 hour, and that candle closes in 21 minutes, 53 seconds. I'm looking right here on my right. So you always want to watch those candles and see when they're closing. This candle right here is going to close probably 20 minutes. I would expect this to sell off even more, probably somewhere in the area. It'll be sitting right on the 531, and that's probably where the market's going to close. It's going to close in a sell to the down. We open up on the Asian market. They're going to sell everything else, which will probably take us into 526, because if we're already here breaking support, this buy becomes a sell by the close of the Asian market on the SPY. We'll probably be sitting somewhere. Oh man, if we get 526, we're gonna lose this wick at 520. If we lose that wick at 520, we're literally back where we were the other day when they did the pump and dump, and they literally almost had to shut the market down. But because the market is closed, it could fall freely now. So literally, unless we get a buy in the market, something big happens, Trump comes out and says something, you know, I made America great, and everybody's getting a $20,000 check by Friday. Check your mail. Check your mail. Something crazy like that. If not, by Friday, even tomorrow, literally, we could be right back right back where we were, a big nothing burger, right back at 496 to retest these lows. And if we do that tomorrow, this double bottom and shoot up, it's going all the way. Let me see. Man, what's tomorrow? Wednesday. After
Remember,
tax.
the market is closed on Friday.
Yep, they're going to sell this bad boy off. You sure are right. They're about to sell this off tomorrow and Thursday, close it for Easter. Oh, this is perfect. I'm glad you said that. They're going to sell this off tomorrow. I'll almost bet my house. I'll bet my house. They're going to sell this off tomorrow. Look at this. What about this tells you this is coming back? We double topped all of this noise up here. But remember, we couldn't even get past the pump and dump. So basically, when I say a pump and dump, it's when it's like they injected something into the market, made it go up, and they all knew. They all sold right here the other day. Literally, billions were made on this drop. Billions. Right down to here to where they had almost shut the market off. Now they jumped it back up. We went above this sell line, became a buy on a gap up. But look, all day today, yesterday, you can't get above the pump and dump. Looks like just like what we saw on that chart. Let me go back over to this chart real quick and show you this. History is repeating itself. And that's why they say if you don't know history, you honestly will miss out, because these charts that I just showed you is something similar in there. Where is that at? On that depth cross chart that I was showing you. Where was that at? Here. Can y'all see this? I got to find out what chart this is. I downloaded, but see, remember can you guys see the depth cross chart?
We see it.
Yep. Remember right here, look, we brought it back up, brought it down, similar to what's going on now. But look at the wicks. Couldn't get back above that, and boom, it sold off, bounced, then sold off more. It's the same thing that's happening again. You can see it if you go back and look through charts over and over and over. They don't change the plays. They just change the dates on the plays. Play 16, 1995. Let's run that one again. Run that one. When you see the market basing, it's just these rich guys sitting around trying to figure out when they're going to break it, when they're going to bounce it, what they're going to do to us, and what date. And I think the decision has been made, and they're using NVIDIA now as a scapegoat. We'll blame it on NVIDIA. We're blaming on NVIDIA. And so there's going to be a lot of good opportunities in the market. If you didn't get in gold, I got in gold long. I'm expecting gold to go way beyond $300, way beyond $300. The buys on gold, and see, look, we're in a double top now. We pull back, but this is getting ready to go. This is on the 6 hour. The next level, 305, 313. I bought gold out to June and out to January of next year. Because think about it, if the market is crashing out, that might be, look at this, the 328 level, that big jump up. This would be during the extreme drop, that 313 to 328. Boom, that'll be gold gapping up. So Bitcoin is pulling back, and the market is going to follow Bitcoin. So don't forget that. And then again, Ford, 125 million in the volume. This is not normal. They're buying in simply because of the dividend. I think that's all I have, but I just wanted to share with you guys, man, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to trade the market down. And if you're not sure, I can get you in a play. I can get you something way out where you can go to work. You don't have to worry about it. Let me see. Damon, or can you look up let me see. I got my chart, my computer over here. We got 20 minutes. Let me see if I could find a position. I'm going to look in Thinkorswim real quick.
You looking at, Anthony?
I didn't know if you were available, but I'm going to look up a position, because the way the market is getting ready to fall, like Wisner works, a lot of other people work. Some of us are semi-retired and working, but even if you go long, like let's say I'm going to do the SPY, I'm going to go to September or June. let's just say a SPY put, and let's say June. Find something that's not expensive, but that can become thousands of dollars. Let's see. Because on this drop right here, I'm telling you, you don't have to invest a lot of money to make a lot of money because it's going to fall so far. I'm loaded up. I'm getting ready. As soon as the market opens tomorrow, I'm buying. I'm going to just tell you, I'm buying about at least another $1,000 on the SPY and at least another $500 in puts on the QQQs. You really only have to trade those two. They're going to drop. I mean, from Orlando to Miami, they're about to go down. I mean, it's not rocket science. So I'm going to look right now in June, and I'm going to see if I can find where the dark pool is sitting. And what happens with the dark pool, and I can post these in the channel. You see a lot of open interest, but you won't see the volume because they're trading over on the dark pool, so we can't see the volume. But once their trades go through and they're bought, you can see the open interest because they open the contracts over on the real market. And I really don't know how that is allowed to happen in America. It is so shady that a group of people can trade 24 hours a day and can do options. They can, I mean, can open up a position anytime they want. I mean, it just should not be able to, it just should not be allowed.
So got the 350 for June.
I'm about to pull it up now. I'm looking at June 20th.
Yep. It's 1,000 in the volume. It has 25,000 in the open interest.
Wow.
And then like the 345 and 340 looks decent as well as far as open interest.
So what we're doing is we're going into the options chain, and we're looking through the options chain. And what? Let me see if I can pull it up over here again on this computer. I got two computers. Let me see if I can show you this. And you could do it on your own. I kind of showed it before, but yeah, that 350. How much is that one, Damon? Like $200.
It's $1.
Oh, it's only $1. So
yes,
it's
it'll be $100.
So let me see. If I do that in Thinkorswim, it'll tell me how much that contract will make over time. So you can literally take $100 and you could turn $100 into probably $1,500, $1,600. Tell them what happened, Damon, when we were trading in August. We got out too early. Those contracts were $56. When we got that drop in August, those contracts all went to $1,300 that Monday. So you turn $56 into $1,300, $1,800, depending on the lows. And we sold out in profit on the Friday. We got out early. But I'm trying not to do that this time because we see the move right in front of us. We see the death cross. We see what's getting ready to happen. So we want to stay with the trade. Now, the biggest thing you could do now, the biggest mistake would be to get out too early or not to be in at all. Please write it down. VXX, SQQQ. Please be in some of those. Even if you're only in one or two, if you can get SQQ and ride that down and each one becomes $2,000 and you only paid $4,000, that's where, I mean, you only paid $40. That's where they went last time. They went to that level because of the extreme drop. Let me see, June. That was the 350, Damon?
Yes, the 350.
350. I'm going to see. So.
Did you tell them about, did you ever talk about on this call about VXX during the COVID days?
Yeah, VXX went to $7 million. I think I showed them a few times.
Okay.
I think I did. Haven't I talked about that, Wisner?
You did.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you just buy one now and you're like, man, this thing's $70. I ain't got no $70. Man, please, $70 can become 70 million. I mean, it's conscionable to think that it goes there and you don't have one. And we talked about it on this trading show. You'll be mad at yourself.
Yeah. No, I jumped into that SQQQQ based on what you shared.
Mm-hmm. So SQQQ during the COVID crash, they went from the lower prices up into the 2000s. Some of them went as much as 4,000. So I'm looking at that 350 put out to June 20th, which would give you plenty of time to soak up the drop. So if you said I want to invest $1,000, that's 10 contracts. And let me see if it goes to just down to 400. I'm at 400 right now. $1,000 becomes $12,000. If
Wow.
we get to, yeah, you could plan your trade on Thinkorswim. If we get to 350 and you're in the money, $1,000 becomes $28,000. And we just literally looked at the levels. So the levels on the SPY again. And so this is how you want to do your trade. You're not gambling. You're looking at the weekly chart. We just did it on the SPY. We're looking at the 200-day moving average. We just looked at it. 200-day moving average brings me to 454. So let's say it comes to 454. That's what we're expecting. Let's say we hit 454 and we bounce. We get nothing more. But from here to where we are, that's massive. Your $1,000 becomes $4,000. And this is not including volatility. I'm just moving the mouse over on the screen. You got to imagine when this thing starts dropping and people start jumping in and it gets crazy, the volatility goes up. I mean, where I'm saying 4,000 could actually be 6,000, and where it's saying 12,000 could actually be 20,000 because of volatility. What's the volatility on that strike, Damon? The IV.
Let me see.
Because you want it to be low so we can run it up, but I would like it to be under 50.
I'm gonna put that on this chart here so I can have it adding it right now. So that was the June 350. All right, here we go. IV is 52.5%.
Oh, that's really good. Because if you have 52 and that thing runs up to 100 or 1,800, last time the market dropped like that, the IVs on some of these things were up to 2,000%, 3,000%. And that's what gets those contracts all juiced and they become so expensive. I'm sitting right now in the 150s. I've been dollar cost averaging in on those. The 150 strikes out to June. Those are only at 4 cents. You could literally load up on those. Like say it's saying 4 cents. And I mean, the closer positions are the better ones. But if you buy, say 500, that's $2,000. Now my philosophy is to get multiple positions. So I have some of the I got the 490. I got the what is the other one I got? I got the 490. I have to look in my options chain, but I've got like 4 different positions. But the one that's further out, the June 20th 150, I can buy 500 contracts for $2,000. So basically, now when it moves, because I've got so many contracts from where we are now, if we get to, let's say 400, I'm at $12,000 with the $2,000 investment because of so many contracts. Let's say I bought 1,000 contracts, which would put me at $4,000, which is not a really, really large investment because you want to look at your return. From 533 down to 400 to where we're expecting it to go is $25,000. So the other day on Keenan Grace's channel, I subscribed to Keenan Grace. He's an influencer and he teaches stocks. I started following him back during COVID. A guy made $101,000 last Monday, and he was in the SPX. He traded 4 SPX and it moved 300 points. And he turned $4,000 into $101,000. There was another guy, I think, that made like $1 million on one of those channels in 1 week. And he was trading with the $400,000. So he doubled his money. So people are doing it. It's being done, and you don't have to go in super heavy. But you definitely want to be in. I would definitely say paper trading is over. I mean, because things are at a point now to where we talked about it, and I'm not saying by any means if you're not comfortable to jump into anything or rush in, but if you do just need to paper trade this drop, just paper trade it, and then on the golden cross, just take it back up. But the market falls faster than it rises, and there's going to be some good opportunities to the downside. And like I said, if you don't like options, let me see, where's VXX at now? And we got 5 minutes. I definitely want to take some questions. VXX just a few weeks ago was at, it went all the way up to $91. It hit the 200 moving average, the 200-day moving average. Now we're in the after hours, we're back up to $70. So SQQ, let me see, here we go. We were all the way up to $58, and now we're rising again, $36.70. I'm sitting in SQQ, I'm sitting in VXX, I'm sitting in QQQs and SPY. And on the day that it starts dropping, if I can catch it, I will be in as much SPY as I can, or SPX as I can afford. That's all I got. Anybody questions, please? Let's talk about this. The market is falling. Anybody have any questions? Any
Anthony,
yes, sir.
do you mind looking at Palantir to see when's a good time to go long on that?
Oh yeah, I meant to cover Palantir too, because that's what PLTR. Where's Palantir? It should be, man. I shouldn't have to type in Palantir. I was actually looking for it earlier and I didn't see it on my chart. How that happened, I need to make this list smaller for trading. I did a whole nother list for trading with the family.
I think if you go back up, you just miss it right there.
There we go. Palantir. So February the 18th, we topped out at 121. Tonight, we've fallen $2. This is the 3-day. Looks like we have a gap. Let me see this on the daily. Palantir has earnings. So this is one of the reasons I don't think Palantir is going to be able to fall too far. Earnings are coming up May 5th, which is really quickly. And if you look, we've got a double bottom coming off of January 25th. If you swing it out, you can see right here, the bottom over here, April the 8th. I think even if the market falls, I think Palantir is going to go up. This is on the daily. While everything else is bleeding, Palantir's, all the buys are to the upside, and I think it's because of its earnings. Like if I go out right now and looked at, let's say, Microsoft. No, Microsoft also is to the buy. And they're actually the largest company in the world right now. Yeah, see, Nike, theirs is going to, yeah, theirs is to the downside. 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 is to the downside. But Palantir, because of earnings, I think we might get beyond that 100-day, that $100 level for earnings. So I think this might be the earnings run up. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm looking to buy more Palantir. I was looking to get more at $60. I don't think we're going to get there. I honestly don't think we're going to get there because we bottomed out down at 66. And that's why sometimes when you have those real low buy levels set, they don't get triggered. If I was, man, when I saw it start, I was going to say if I was smart, I'm not going to say that. But I should have just bought when I saw some down here. And I always tell Damon, Damon, I'd be like, it's a good time to buy. We don't know if it's actually going to go where we want it to go. I wanted 60. We came to 66, and then look at this. We got a buy April the 8th, and we've been going up ever since. There's been some pullbacks, 86, but Palantir looks like to me, it wants to go to that 117. Palantir wants to go back to all-time highs. We got a gap over here that needs to be filled. I think if you're in Palantir, you're going to be okay. I think you're going to be okay. The next buy, I would say, would be at the bottom of this gap. Let me zoom out. Because even if the market crashes, Palantir is so strong. I don't know if you noticed, but when all the other stocks are moving back up, Palantir will run $5, $6 and go right back. I mean, like strong. I would put a buy maybe $86, maybe right at this flat line on cheat code, right at the 50-day. The entry to the upside was 83.30. So I would say right in that area, maybe in the middle of there. That would be, what is that? In between the flat line and the entry is $83.60. And that's probably where I put my buy now, because I don't think, I'd be surprised if we come back to 60. Because look, this is a V-shaped recovery. Look at that. I mean, this is a nice big old V. Everybody can see the V, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see how we dropped and boom, straight back V-shaped recovery. And then with earnings coming on May 5th, that's not that far off. So let's say the market crashes out tomorrow. They sell the market off. We're already down. We're down roughly, what, $2? We were at 98. Oh, the market just closed, so it won't show me those shiny marbles now. But let's play worst case scenario. Let's say the market sells off because we're in all these death crosses on the daily. Let's look at it on the daily and we'll be done. But we got earnings coming up. Yep, so let's say the market sells off. Everything crashes out. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, markets close Friday. Sunday, we open up and they just flush it. And we get down to those 400s over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We drop, let's say, on the SPY, $50, $60 and get down to the lows that we're talking about. We're just saying worst case scenario. I think on Palantir, it would come through this gap and you probably would be right here at maybe 78. Because on the daily, look, this is your support where this green line is. We were already here. Now, we didn't go back and test this. We didn't get a retest on the lows. So worst case scenario, I would say half of this candle, which would be, oh, the flat line is right there, but that's 3/4. Let's go with the flat line. Worst case scenario, put a buy at 83.50, and then down here, 69.71. Let me write that down because this plays out. Wow. 83. And make sure you guys are taking notes, because if you can't get me during the day, you already know the levels. You start seeing stuff break down, you'll know too, because this is a stock you definitely want to own. Not financial advice, but when this is the stock. This is the stock right here. It was the #1 performer in the S&P 500 last year. Outperformed everything, including NVIDIA. So $70.04. That's where, if you don't have it, buy some. If you can't buy a whole share, I'll put my Webull. I think my Webull's already in chat. You could buy fractional shares. You could say, I want $5 worth of it, $10 worth of it, $40, and just keep buying it like that. But yeah, that's where I would look at on Palantir. $80, and then right there is 69, that's 70 area. And other than that, I don't think it's going that low. And even if it does, with earnings coming, I think for earnings, we might be right back up in the 117, 130 area, because they're going to have great earnings. Great earnings. Let me see the monthly chart on that. Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that chart. That is crazy. That's Palantir on the monthly. I mean, just parabolic. Yeah, that looks really good. You don't even see this little stuff when you zoom out to the monthly. All these little troubles and things, zoom out. You don't even see it. The 2-week chart looks great. Going back to retest all-time highs at 120. Yeah, and see, look, on the 2-week chart, we bounced right off of support on the flat line. We touched below it, came right back up, bounced off of it, gapped up. Earnings is coming. I would look for Palantir coming up to earnings to be above 110. Roughly, we're already 50% of the candle. I would say somewhere 110, 75% of these big candles where we double topped, 109, 110 area before earnings. You get good earnings, boom, shoot up $25, $30, and the rest is history. So that's what I'd be looking for on Palantir, because they've been so strong. So strong.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, and look at the 1 hour. They got a TP4 at 147. That's a big jump. That's life-changing in options. Yeah. Anybody else? We're at 8:05. I gotta shave. I gotta tighten up my appearance before I go to work. We got this gap from 108 to 112 on Palantir. And man, look at this. We're sitting in a W pattern. I think this thing's getting ready to go, Wisner. I think it's getting ready to go. Now, this would be a good one, too, to do some leaps on. You go out to 2026 on Palantir. They keep having good earnings because it's a war-type stock, and we ain't got nothing but war and more war coming. This thing could break this 147, 144 area. And if you're in leaps out to, let me see, Palantir. I'll do this real quick, and we are done. I'm going to look on PLTR. I'm going to see what the leaps are on it to January 2026, because that might be the best way to play this. And that way you can go to work, you can do whatever you want to do, and you can just sit in a leap on it. January 16th, Palantir calls to, let's say, 150. Oh man, they're $1,000. It's $1,000 to the 150 area. From where we are now, let's say you bought one. Honestly, it would be life-changing. So if you bought one Palantir leap to January and this thing takes off, if we get up to the 147 where we're seeing on cheat code, that 1,000 becomes $2,459. We break that 150 area. Let's say we get to 175 by the end of the year because of all the war and everything that's going on. We get up to 175. That stock at $1,000 would bring you $4,000 at the end of the year. You can cash that out and do Christmas. You can cash it out, go to Utah, go to Vail, Colorado, go skiing. That's how people do this, though. They look at where the stocks are going, and they just open up a few positions, and they go live their life. So that's one. So think about this. We're just saying $1,000. But let's say the person that's got some money, and they want to say, I'm going to buy 1,000 of those because they really believe in Palantir. That's $1 million. So you take $1 million, and Palantir just goes back to the 110. Just on that 110 move, they just made another $563,000 on $1 million. That's how you make the money in options. And that's what I'm excited about, because as I get more money, as I sell my business and go into retirement, I can sit home and do this. It's not about how much you're putting in now. It's not about, oh, I bought one contract, 30 contracts, 40 contracts. Do you have the structure of what we're teaching? Do you understand the capabilities of what I'm saying? Because you can retire, you can sell a property, you could be anything can happen, and you can come into money, and then you don't know what to do with the money, and the money is gone. But now looking at this, you take just some of your money. I mean, let's say you bought 1,000 contracts and this thing went just to the 147 area. That 1 million becomes $2.5 million. And we're talking about here before the summer. This is how people are riding around, and man, everybody's got a Cullinan. I talked to a guy the other day, and I'm done. I'm not going to say his name. He's an Asian guy. I was doing his cars down at Disney and Golden Oaks. He's building a $25 million house. They've been working on it for 7 years. Every house in that area around him is roughly that price. And I was telling him, he saw me on my phone. He said, "Are you trading?" I said, yeah, I'm trading. He said, "Man, I made," what did he say he made? He said, "I made like $50 million the other day trading." I said, "Options?" He said, "Oh God, no, not options." He said, "I bought the shares." And I'm like, "The shares?" And I'm like, "How many shares did you buy?" He's like, "When you buy, 5 or 6 million shares."
Oh yeah.
There you go. And he said,
yeah.
and it ran. And I was like, "I bet it did run." And then I wanted to ask him what he traded, but I said, I ain't gonna mess with him. But he was like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh yeah, man." He said, "I just trade the shares." He said, "I used to do options." He said, "Only thing I do in the options is leaps." Because people like that, they don't have time to jump in and jump out and jump in and jump out. So they'll just put $1 million on Palantir and go to January. Let the move happen. They'll do $1 million on NVIDIA, to the downside and then back to the upside. You can do this all day. Buy a put, sell a call, buy a call, sell a put. There you go. And it's not that difficult. So I want everybody at some point to feel comfortable, and I really think Thinkorswim, everybody should have Thinkorswim because it's just so easy. You could plan your trade. And I think you could do that on Fidelity and some of these other ones too. But to me, having that trailing stop loss on a really, really big day, if the market falls apart, you could put a 15 to 10% trailing stop loss on because you're up, over 1,000%, and you're really not going to lose, and go do something else. You ain't got to sit there and baby that. When it kicks you out, I mean, what are you mad about? So anyway, guys, that's all I have. We're in death crosses. Doesn't matter what Donald Trump says. Doesn't matter what anybody says. Market's going down. So be in position. Be ready. I'll put these two in the chat. The 350 SPY. I didn't look at QQQ, but we'll find a good one for that. And Tesla's also going down. So we'll put some ideas in there. And if you want to partake, you can. And we'll put the VXX SQQQ in there also. And I think when they open up the Asian market tonight, I think it's just going to flush down further because they're mad at us right now. We're mad at Donald Trump. They ain't mad. They don't know us. But if nobody else has anything else, that's it for tonight. Sunday is Resurrection Sunday, so we won't be doing charting on Sunday. People are going to be with their families and dinners and eating out and everything. And then I was out of town this week for the family dinner. But we'll start right back on next Tuesday. But if y'all need to get in a trade, man, please reach out to me. And don't miss the money. Not saying you don't know how to get in a trade or you don't know how to set it up. So please, I'll go on a call with you and we'll get you set up and don't miss it. Don't miss it. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Have a good evening. I'll see you guys on next Tuesday.
All right.
Thank you, Anthony.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
Night
All
all.
right.